Hello everybody, it's Lucy Wolf here, sleep consultant and author of The Baby Sleep Solution. I hope that you're all really well today. I guess that I've had lots of questions about my suggestion about moving the final feed further out of the context of bedtime. I just wanted to clarify a few things about that because I guess I want you to know that you just can't make a change in isolation and necessarily expect that your sleep is going to improve, because there are so many force factors that affect your children's sleep. And I guess what I try and do is pick off the major contributing factors, but again, it's as a whole as opposed to just one piece of information. And you see, if you just take one piece of information and apply it, some of you will report progress, but some of you will report that there is no difference. So I suppose I just wanted to make some clarifications and get you to first of all understand why I believe it's important for lots of children, not all, for lots of children to have their final feed slightly separate to bedtime. And again, I'm talking about children who are aged over 6 months who are failing to maintain their sleep in the overnight period, or struggling with early rising, or actually just struggling with naps during the day. Because sometimes what happens to young children, if the feed, be it breast or bottle, sippy cup of water, sports water bottle, of anything, if it's too close to sleep time, it does one of two things. It either puts your child completely asleep, which means that they really can't get through their natural sleep phases without more input, or it means that the feed is just too close to sleep time and it puts the brain into a sleepy state. And this sleepy state, it's not really visible to you as the parent, but what it's represented by frequent nighttime activity. And basically, just what it's showing you is that your child's sleep ability is a little bit buried. And when the child's sleep ability is a little bit buried, they go to sleep with relative ease. That's never the problem, but they really find it difficult to get through those major sleep cycles in the overnight period. And then we end up sometimes feeding, changing the location, rocking, rolling. Basically, we're attending to nighttime activity. So one of the things that I do with families is I move that feed to make sure it's not part of the problem. And I just take it out of the context of sleep. And I suppose in some ways it makes a load of sense, although for years we've been sold the whole model of bath, bottle and bed. Again, I don't feel that takes account of the science of sleep, which is what I lean on heavily when I'm working with a family. That my proposition is that it's not the stomach that sleeps, it's the brain. And although we are hugely caught up in hunger and a child's ability to stay asleep due to hunger, actually having a drink close to sleep time actually increases the risks of your nighttime activity rather than addresses it. So it's not about not giving a feed, it's just about giving the feed and changing the order of your bedtime routine. So I would typically do your dinner, your bottle, breast or bottle, downstairs, completely separate to sleep. I like 45 minutes plus clearance between finishing the drink and being asleep. So again, you need to do the backward math on that. You can use my magic number line because I feel that is very productive when you're starting. And then you do a bath if you want to do a bath, and then you do a bedtime routine. So the bath for me is not a prerequisite either, but again, if you're doing it, we do the feed first, then the bath, then the bedtime routine. And again, a bedtime routine ideally is in the bedroom, song, story time, nice and relaxed baby. And again, if you're making that adjustment, sometimes your baby may struggle then to go to sleep. So I see somebody there this morning saying they took them 30 minutes to go to sleep, but actually that's good. Good that it takes your baby a little bit of extra time to go to sleep in the absence of the bottle, because without the feed, your baby is allowing, or you are allowing your child to start to develop the sleep ability required to get through those nighttime sleep phases. So this is where you use my stay and support approach, because as they struggle, you'll want to support them and then they'll go to sleep for you. But nothing will change overnight. Your nighttime activity will still be there because that's a separate entity and that now needs to be treated. The difference now though is this. There's something to treat. If all along your feed is too close to sleep time, no strategy overnight will change what's happening unless this piece of the puzzle is in place. And that's the key thing. And that's when you then have your overnight plan. you use my stay and support approach, you discontinue your feeding by using the phasing out of night feed approach, you maybe stop bed sharing and doing anything else that you've been doing, provided it's age appropriate and it feels right for you. And then in time, 10, 14 nights plus, then we would start to see the consolidation of the nighttime sleep, provided everything else is correctly aligned. And what do I mean by that? I mean your nap balances, I mean your feeding structure, I mean your outside activity, your environment, the fact that your child has no underlying medical issues. Well, then we will see the emergence of the sleep ability. Grown bedtime helping to underpin the overnight. So again, I just wanted to put that to you so there was a greater understanding of that, because small changes make a huge difference, but sometimes small changes in isolation won't make any difference. And again, understanding is key, because then I feel that you know what you're doing and you know what to expect as well. Correcting sleep problems, it takes time. It takes 3 to 4 weeks for sleep issues to be dissolved, diminished, erased, and established in the new way. And that then takes on your part, a lot of patience, a lot of commitment. But I guess understanding is required, because if we understand, then we know what we're doing, and then we can work through it on that basis. So you can read all about it in my book, The Baby Sleep Solution. There's loads of content here on my IGTV and on my feed. And also I will put some content in relation to this on my website, sleepmatters.ie. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I guess, like I always say, if there's anybody you know that you think would benefit from the page, please tag them so they can join us here as well. See you again soon.